Good evening, Hyperspinners. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up your Mame Classics collections and your RGB buttons, so get ready. Alright guys, I've got a quick one for you tonight, and essentially what I've run into is when you're setting up your RGB buttons, for each one of your systems, you want the buttons to represent the system controls. And what I found was the classics, so like, Mame Classics, let's say, if we go to our media here, and let's just go to main menu. So all of these classics, like Midway Classics, any sort of classics that you might have. So basically what I've done is I've broken down Mame into let's say manufacturer, maybe you want to call it. So Atari Classics 1, Capcom Classics, I mean really there's a slew of them. So these are essentially just the guts of Mame, just organized in a specific manner. And the intent would be your RGB buttons using LED blinky would represent the game in Mame, where you launch a game and then the RGB highlights the buttons that you should use for that game. Well, lo and behold, the only way for that to actually work is if Mame is actually in these naming conventions. So you'll find when you're actually looking at the media folder here itself, let's see, so arcade favorites, another one I had to add Mame to the end of this. Let's see, the Atari Classic had to add Mame to the end of this. Long story short, this is very simple to do, and Rocket Launcher essentially does this for us automatically, and you would be shocked how super helpful this is, because this renames many folders and many files, in fact, which I was surprised. All you've got to do is go up here and click rename the selected system, and once you push that, you literally, first the workflow would be select the system that you want to rename. So you'd go down here and find, whatever, Classic Arcade. You'd push rename selected system, and then you would literally type in the field that you want to rename that as, and you push enter, and then it magically shows up there. And let me just kind of breeze through all of the folders and files that it would change. So as soon as I change that, the media folder, Atari Classic Mame, changed, which is good. That's what's needed. What also changed was, let's see here, so that's your media. Also in main menu, it also changed. Let's see here, main menu is here, and what it did is it changed every one of these wheel files, which is fantastic. It also changed the theme name for this, and let's see here, yeah, Atari Classic Mame. It also changed the video file. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, I thought this was going to take forever to do with all these classics. So it changed all the media files. It also changed in the settings folder. It changed all of the the file names. So there's the name there. And it went into Rocket Launcher. It also updated the media under fades, which again, surprise. And it literally just renames everything that is related to that system. I mean, it does exactly what it says it does, but it also does it with Hyperspin as well as Rocket Launcher. So the only thing I had to also update was in database. It also, in fact, updated the main menu database, which is fantastic. The only thing that I ended up having to change is within my main menu, I have a Classic Arcade XML. All I had to do was actually open that and then add Mame to every one of these you know, markers. That's literally the only thing that I had to do. I mean, this was like a 5-minute job. Fantastic. So if you guys have RGB buttons and you are looking to add a classics wheel where you've got all these Midway classics, Capcom, you name it, and you want the MAME games to represent just like what the MAME wheel does with launching your games and telling you what buttons to push, this is the way around it, and I will catch you next time.